Fusion. This is a show where we look at YouTube and we have a discussion of the subject matter. Greetings, people. Today, we're going to talk about compassion. We should have compassion for others, whether the black or whether the white. We should always have compassion for others, individuals.
I'm Alex Lyon, and we are doing a 4-part series on compassion, especially angled toward compassion in professional settings. And this is the first video in that 4-part series. I'll link to all of them when the series is complete in the description below the video. I'd like to start with a quote that I love by Ian McLaren. He says, "Be kind. Everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle." I love that quote because it's really about compassion. It's often attributed to Plato, by the way, but based upon my limited research online, it looks like Ian McLaren wrote that in 1897. So compassion is care, kindness, especially the tendency to think about the needs and the good of others.
For others, individuals, because as you know, I'm selling my colognes outside my shop, my mama's shop, and we lost like 80% of our sales due to COVID-19. So I came outside, and it's hot as hell, hot as hell. So I decided to put a little crack in the door. Let me show you the crack. You see the little crack in the door? A little small crack just to get a little air conditioning. I don't leave the door open all day, and sometimes I even go inside, you know what I mean? But let me show you, that people don't have no compassion. They complain about a little crack in the door. We live in family and first. And I'm saying, if that was me, and if you were sitting outside, and I know you're in the hot sun, and I know you lost sales, I would be like, you want some water? Or you need to get some air, get some air conditioning or whatever. I'm not going to be complaining about a crack in the door. It's like...
Compassion is a state of mind and a state of emotion that drives our kindness and our mercy toward other people. We might show compassion through charity, for example, through volunteering, helping others, spending time with individuals who are hurting in some way. In other words, compassion begins with that state of mind or emotion, but ideally, it motivates us to do something practical, to offer some kind of support, whatever that looks like. Now, it's not exactly the same as love, non-romantic love, but it's obviously related. Compassion, you might say, is a loving kindness that we show toward other people. It's also not the same as empathy, but it is related as well. So empathy is where we put ourselves in the other person's shoes to feel what they're feeling. And that empathy can stir up compassion in us for others, especially if those people are suffering in some way. So it makes sense to me that people often talk about compassion, love, and empathy in this trio because they all really are connected. But we're going to stick mainly with compassion right now, in terms of how we see people in some kind of need. Maybe they're sick or hungry or lonely or in pain in some way. And to make that more concrete, I notice compassion in 3 clear ways around me. And so I'll talk about these 3 ways, and maybe you'll see these in your own life and they'll be familiar to you. The first way I see compassion is with pets. Many of us, for example, feel strong, compassionate feelings for our pets. Now, obviously, this is not the same as feeling compassion for a person, but it helps us understand those feelings. So I have a beautiful dog, a golden retriever, and as a pet, she can't really do too much without our help. She can't feed herself or throw the frisbee. She can't let herself in and out of the house. She needs to be cared for. And when I'm at work, I think about sometimes how she might be home alone, and that fills me with compassion for her, that aloneness. And one of the reasons I talk about pets, by the way, is that there's a variety of research out there that shows that children who learn to treat their pets with kindness and compassion when they're young end up treating people with more compassion and kindness when they grow up. So a question for you is, do you have a pet? And do you ever feel that compassion well up in your heart for that pet? So go ahead and tell me about your pet in the description below the video. I want to hear all about it.
Makes the world going on. It's us. Each one teach one. You have these young youths out there. They look up to older people like us. We have to teach them the right way. That's the only way the world's going to get better. You know what I mean?
The second way I see compassion in my life is for kids. So kids have some freedom and they can do a lot of things on their own, but they're also much more vulnerable than adults in many ways. So to hunger or potential abuse, poverty, certain kinds of sicknesses that seem to go after kids. And it's one of the reasons through this channel that I sponsor 2 kids through Compassion International. So I saw their photos and I read about their lives, and I was filled with compassion to become a monthly sponsor for them. So thank you for being a part of this channel, because you're helping to support those kids. And sometimes we feel compassion for adults too, like if they're really old or if they're
hot sun, sweating, bullets, bleeding. And once again, I would like to thank Giving Company for helping me get a little shade when the sun comes, you know. And if anybody else wants to know, I do have permission to be outside. Okay?
Question: who are the younger people or older people in your life, and do you feel compassion for them?
The guy said it's cruel. He said, "Look, the door got wide open." But she must have kept.
The third way I experience compassion is through leadership. It's one of the topics we talk about on this channel a lot. And the workplace is a context where compassion can play a really important role, especially if you're in a supervisory or leadership position in any way. So in some ways, there are people, quote, under you, and really they're under your care. So leaders create the culture of the workplace. And in most organizations, people at what you would call the bottom of the pyramid, they don't get paid what they should, and they have hard jobs oftentimes. Sometimes they have problems in their own lives outside of work. And leaders are positioned to show compassion for their followers by treating them well and paying them fairly, letting them know that we value them. Now,
and everyone, even the youths, we should teach them the right way. Because I'm a younger to her, she's an outer. And these are the things that I would like to talk about. Because right after that, the door's left wide open, look. Now you see what I'm saying? After all that complaining, somebody comes and opens the door wide open. You see what I'm saying? After all that complaining. Wide open. Now you see how wide open the door is? But I didn't say nothing. But then you're complaining and you're calling the managers, they come down and you make a commotion, but I'm trying to do the right thing. All I want to do is do the right thing, help my mama pay the rent, and people ain't got no compassion. We should always have compassion for each other. That's what makes the world go round. Outside, telling my oils, stop by, we need to beauty supply. Get your oils, get your hand sanitizer. We have some here, right? All different types. We have some fragrances, oils. Come get it. And I must say thanks to the manager of Givens Company. He told me I can move down here. So when the sun comes, I'll be down here in the little lip in there. Setting up right here. Take to dust while I'm in the sun. That was very much appreciated, and I'd like to say thank you to that as well.
Imagine what 7 billion humans could accomplish if we loved and respected one another. Just imagine. Imagine if there was no greed. Imagine if there was no comparison. If everyone was running their own race, but cheering for all others at the same time. Maybe we'll never see that in our lifetime. But what we all can do is start with ourselves. Start with yourself. Choose to lift others up. Choose to set the example of kindness and integrity. The example of compassion and understanding. There's a quote that says, no matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool you believe you are, how you treat people ultimately tells all. Integrity is everything. It really is. Who you are is far more important than what you have. And it will always be. Who you are is measured by how you make others feel. Be kind to each other. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Choose to be the change you wish to see in the world.
You have to be the change you want to see in the world. So I'm trying to do the best that I can.
Decide you will not wait for someone else. You will set the example. Be never know how much that person is suffering inside. You never know the difference your words can make, the difference your presence can make, the difference you can make to one human life. Be the reason someone believes in the goodness of humanity. Be the reason someone else decides to make a difference in others. Be the influence you want to see more of. Always do what is right, not what is easy in the moment. Kindness spreads like a virus. When you do good to another, that person does better to those they come in contact with. You really can make a big difference in the world today and every other day. Anne Frank said, in the long run, the sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit.
You have respect and feel how you want to be treated. You know what I mean? I know most people think they know me, but they don't know me. They talk a lot of stuff about me, and they still don't know me. You know what I mean? But no matter what people think about you, just do you. You know what I mean? And your light will shine. Peace.
No one has ever made themselves great by showing how small another is. Be kind and always build others up to the best of your ability. Treat everyone with the same level of kindness that you would like for yourself. Not because everyone is nice, but because you are. Because karma makes no mistakes. Because it is right. Because you have integrity. Because you want this world to be better when you leave than when you arrive.
People don't all see leadership this way, but I want to be clear that I do. And there's another video in this series that I'm making on compassionate leadership. And when that's done, I will post to that in the description below the video. But these three basic examples of where you might see compassion, but really everybody, virtually everybody, has hard days, hard seasons of life, whether it's health problems, unemployment, financial difficulties, depression, loneliness, lack of purpose, self-hatred. We live in a really complicated and hard world. So to answer the question again, what is compassion? It's kindness and care for others when we think about their needs. Like Ian McLaren said, be kind. Everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. So before we leave, I want to talk about two items. Again, this is the first in a series, so I will link to the next video in this series on compassionate leadership, and you can check that out when it's done. I'll post a link to that. I also want to let you know about a free PDF download that I created on the essential communication skills that all professionals should possess. I will link to that and also pin that link in the first comment in the comment section below the video, so you can check it out through there. And I look forward to reading all your comments about compassion, especially about your pets, below this video. So thanks, God bless, and I will see you in the next video on compassion.
Live in love. Let love live. Peace.